And so on and so forth. Welcome to WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. It's your old pal, Jake, and it is a Wicked Wednesday. What does that mean? I don't know. It just sounds cool. But we had a bonus stream earlier. If you checked that out, or rather, if you didn't check that out, I recommend you do, because we or at least check out the clips, because we really break down how Sam Cedar broke Steven Crowder. And, it's good. It's good to celebrate the victories when they come. And we have a continuation of the other two stories. We have more on the Republicans in the House, what they've been up to. Surprise, surprise, it's no good. We have Jesse Dollemore talking about why Tucker Carlson might be a good boy regarding Fox, and a bonus. We have a reaction from, honest to gosh, one of my favorite senators these days, Sheldon Whitehouse. I mean, out of nowhere, this guy's been a great voice for speaking against MAGA. Talking with a member of the Wicked community recently about the difference, in my opinion, between those that are good at resistance and those that are good at building something. And I got to tell you, I'm appreciative of both groups here in 2023. As we go down the line, and these are just some entry thoughts for you to mull over. A lot of the folks that are friends now, and it's going to seem strange to consider these days. I think this will make a lot more sense in a couple of years. A lot of folks that are friends now will be respectful opposition in a few years, and try your best here in this moment, where we are up against real evil, where we are up against people who genuinely are seeking to harm you, your family, and other Americans. Remember, that's what real evil is. Because one day when we have respectful opposition, when we're back to normal politics, it will be easy to dip into those same feelings and to dip into the same skills that you built up now to fight actual fascism. And I will say this: the techniques we are all learning now, as we get better and better at talking with people that disagree with us, they'll still be useful. But one day, when, for example, your more moderate Democrats end up being, they switch parties, or the parties themselves divide, whatever. When they are the respectful opposition, just remember that once upon a time we were fighting the good fight together. How's everybody doing? I'm seeing Wicked Foxy Dragon, the anti-corporatist. Hello. The anti-corporatist says, Jake, I swear I'm going to have to give you my number so you can text me when you run these rando streams. LMAO. Yeah, even I generally don't know until moments before, but I'll absolutely text you. Franny P, hello. Y'all got to multiple of you. We're not friends anymore, you bastards. Multiple of you got to see Steppenwolf twice. That's awesome. but I'm jealous and I'm petty. I wish I saw it. That's super cool. Franny P says, saw him twice myself, Birmingham, Alabama, and the Dells, Wisconsin. I don't think those are less impressive venues. I think those. I just realized the recording won't help. Says Franny P. I've seen them twice myself, but less impressive venues in Birmingham and the Dells. I think that's awesome, man. Leon Chevalier says, they talk about socialism. There's far more chance of America becoming fascist at the moment. Yeah, I think America definitely is fascist at the moment. Let's dive into it. Except that I want to steal this phrase from the anti-corporatist. I'm stuck in Denver, so I slept hard and was taking an altitude nap earlier. Man, oh man. I like the idea of an altitude nap. All right, let's get it started. I am no secret here. I am a fan of a gentleman by the name of D.L. Hughley. Been having a D.L. Hughley revival of, we just gave myself a brand new tongue piercing revival on this channel. Let's record this so that we can play it for the Wicked House later. We've been having something of a D.L. Hughley revival on this channel. Rediscovered him, thanks to the Wicked audience. Rediscovered him earlier this year, and he's been putting out great content. His radio show also has segments streamed to YouTube, which is where your old pal Jake finds him. And just a fantastic voice for communicating sanity back to the people that need to hear it. And in a society that is just saturated with guns and tragedy and horror as a result, I really think this is an important message from Mr. D.L. Hughley.
Ready? That was the Fugees, Ready or Not. So over the last week, we have seen a young black man, a young black child, get shot by for knocking on a door by a 84-year-old, now seemingly racist white man. I'm not saying this cavalierly. The district attorney alluded to that when they were making charges, basically said that he has reason to believe it was a racist incident. Several members of his family, including his biracial grandfather, said his father was racist.
I'll real quick give D.L. Hughley the pass here as a member of the suspect's race. Yes, that dude was a racist white man. That's how I'm calling it. That's what it surely appears to be. I think that's a fair characterization.
That he often had delved into the world of conspiracy as a Fox News watcher, all that kind of thing, that kind of fits that category. We have had a young woman turn into the wrong driveway and get shot after seeking to leave. We have had two cheerleaders be shot for walking up to the wrong car. We have had a father and his daughter be shot for their basketball rolling into a yard. Now, these are common day, mundane, everyday things. And what has changed is America's insisting on giving people access, ready access to guns. Now, already statistically, we are more stressed out. We are more anxious. We are more angry. We are more concerned. We are more drug addled. We are more. So everything that you could be that would lead to these kind of things, an uptick in these kind of things, we are. And state legislatures all across the country decided that it would be a good idea to put guns in the hands of these people. I know that I used to carry a gun all the time, and you know what I used to find myself doing? Looking for things to happen. I used to look for a fight. When you set the table for confrontations like this, when you start writing these stand your ground law, where you have to have no, obligations to get away, it was meant for things like this to happen. Everybody wants to play Dirty Harry. Now, let me tell you something. What is so goddamn scary about a basketball and a boy, a man and his daughter rolling into your yard? What is so scary about two cheerleaders or three cheerleaders walking up to the wrong car? What is so scary about somebody pulling in your driveway and pulling off? What's so scary about somebody ringing the doorbell at your home? It is because now these people are predisposed to want to end lives. If you buy these guns, you want to use them. And you will look for excuses to use them. You look for excuses to use it. A cheerleader, and you're a grown-ass man, and you shoot 2 cheerleaders? You shoot girls from 200, 300 yards away as they're driving away? You shoot somebody whose basketball goes into your yard with her and her father? You shoot a kid just ringing your doorbell?
I do think right away he nailed it. Everybody involved here that did the shooting anyway, they want to be Dirty Harry. They want to be a hero with a gun. That's what they're trying to do. They want to have their big moment where they finally get to use their toy to shoot somebody, and they want to get praise, and they want to get a bunch of people going, yeah, you did it, you got one. That's what they want. Their fantasy, that's the fantasy for a lot of these folks. I understand the reasoning of a gun owner that truly, genuinely is afraid in their home for any given reason, or is afraid on the street. I understand the reasoning. But there is certainly a distinct group of gun owners who they don't take guns and the responsibility that must come with them seriously. They're not sitting there hoping, Jesus, I hope I never have to use this thing. They're not viewing it like a life jacket in a raft. They're viewing it like the raft. Jesus, I can't wait for the opportunity to use this thing. That's how they're viewing it. The exact opposite of how you should. More in a moment. Let's let the man finish his piece. These are short clips.
We have been set up for things like this because 2 things have happened. The legislators in these states have decided that it would be wise to not do background checks, to not have red flag laws, to not have waiting periods, but to put guns in the hands of people who are this irresponsible. Irresponsible. You've decided it was a great thing, and we're angry, a drug addict, high, anxious, and that is going to be a mix for a dilemma like this. Kids getting shot for ringing the doorbell. How many times have you, a grown person, gone to the wrong place, seen the wrong address, or had your ball roll into a yard? Should it be a death sentence? The only thing that's changed is the overabundance of guns in the hands of maniacs. These people walk around with these guns, and they cannot wait to use them. And you don't know that because you don't know anything about them. You've decided it would be prudent not to check anything. Their mental capacity, their emotional, what kind of emotional strain they're under. Just go get yourself a gun just because you can have one. So we better prepare ourselves for these things to happen all the time. These people have decided it's more important for maniacs to get guns than kids to be able to make mistakes. They've decided that. If you got a gun, chances are things are going to look decidedly different to you. Where it might be prudent to walk away, a gun gives you courage you may not have. There's an old expression, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And when you got a gun, everything looks like a life-threatening fight. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.
Well, I like the D.L. Hughley Show. In Africa, the continent Africa, there is a band called Just a Band, and they take a page out of the K-pop book, where there's Just a Band, and then from all these different countries in Africa. My favorite is from Just a Band Kenya, and they do a song called Ha Hey. And the music video is hilarious for Ha Hey because it's like a 70s action film, basically. And it stars a fictitious character called Makmende. After seeing the song, hearing the song, which is awesome, and then seeing the video because I like the song, I looked up. What does that mean? It was like Makmande Burundi. I looked up what that phrase is. Apparently, in the area of Kenya, we're getting there, I promise. In the area of Kenya, there's an expression where you say, "Oh, Makmande," like sarcastically, and it's for wannabe tough guys. And it's a distortion of "make my day," like Dirty Harry. As if to say, like, when somebody's talking too tough, their friends, affectionately will correct them by being like, "Oh, Makmande, yeah, It's the it's the verbal equivalent of like, "Yeah, mm-hmm." Imagine a country of 330 million people where every Makmande is allowed an assault rifle, if they so choose. Culturally, we have to start treating people that are cavalier with guns like children to their face. We have to have the American version of Makmande, yeah, Oh, tough guy. Oh, you're wearing a pistol out just on your hip at this farmer's market with these kids around. Real calming everybody down, really making everybody feel safe. Random weirdo in the crowd. We have to do that culturally, simply because that should have always been part of our culture. Even back in cowboy times, we should have been looking at people wandering around just threatening the general populace with a gun like that. And it is desperately important that we win. Sane Americans win the House, the Senate, and the White House in 2024. Or we're going to keep getting random Americans are shot to death. I've even seen, God help me, I've seen this this gun culture bleed over into Canada, where there's a lot of Canadian conservatives that are starting to fall for this crap. And it makes us weaker as a people to be so reliant on guns to do our conflict resolution for us. Now, if you're a grown-up, you use your words. But you don't have to be a grown-up. You don't. You can be an immature 57-year-old if you want. There's no law that says you have to be mature and, a pillar of society that everyone admires. No, you can solve your problems childishly. What you can't do, whether you're a grown-up or whether you're childish, what you can't do is toy around with other people's lives. That you can't do. That can't be part of your culture, and we cannot have laws that allow people to do that. There's a link in the description. It is to a change.org petition. It's got a lot of support, growing support. If you haven't already signed it, this petition requests that the government once again ban assault weapons. Will Republicans listen to that? Not now, no. But who knows how many signatures it will gather over time. You can be amongst those signatures. You can do your part. Think of it like a lottery ticket. No different than that. There's a chance that this petition will be part of the solution at the right time. We don't know. We don't know when the next tragedy is going to happen. We don't know where it will happen, but we do know it will happen. Because we still have these weapons out there. We still don't do serious background checks. We still don't close gun show loopholes. And so, we know it's going to happen again. A bunch of children will be killed. It will be our fault. It will be mostly the fault of Republicans, though. You want to wash your hands of it now. Sign the petition now. So you can truly say you did everything in your power that you could think of to stop this from happening. We're going to check out what the Wicked community has to say about this. Oh, starting it off with a real pleasant one. Sorry about that, folks. I know it's a bit of a bummer. Don't worry, we're going to make fun of Republicans in a moment. Anti-Corporatist says, man, now that Biden has the new chief of staff, he's not going to do diddly. We need Marianne or something. I don't know about that. We knew Biden was done getting anything passed when we got the Republican House. I mean, Marianne Williamson could be the president right now, and it would be unlikely that we would have a different set of outcomes over the next year. It's just the way the country is set up. Leon Chevalier says, I watched a good little vid on it a while back. Oh, Sidebean. They explained how and why. Oh, I see. I'm reading the wrong thing. Let me go back up. Will Democrats listen to it? To the, I assume you're talking about the petition. Yes. Yes. If there's a lot of support, they will listen. You also have to consider what might happen in the near future. If there is a lot of waves made about this petition, and then the next tragedy happens, this might hit at the right time, like a double bounce on a trampoline. Putting up things like this consistently is going to result in one of them working eventually. Zix1326 says, I like Marianne, but I worry about the spiritualism in her message. I'm a firm believer in separation of church and state. Yeah, and I have very little I mean, look, this is not saying you shouldn't like Marianne. I'm just going to say my feelings on her. Yeah, much like Leon Chevalier, I think Marianne may be a little too hippie, wishy-washy. Exactly. I don't like that the left is associated, and this is purely aesthetic, associated with a culture of not being very serious. And when you have somebody who you suspect sells crystals as a side hustle, it's a great way to make sure their political message isn't listened to. I think the Clean for Gene folks back in the day had it right. You get Martin Luther King, if you want a better known example. You put on a suit, you put on a nice dress, you put on whatever the hell, and whatever you would imagine a talk show host wearing, and yeah, you make yourself look and act as professional as possible. Stay on target and make your personal beliefs, whatever they may be, absolutely irrelevant to the conversation. I just don't think Marianne Williamson is a good messenger. I don't want the left associated with her, and I certainly don't want her to be the face of the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. I don't want that. I think we've got a great one in Bernie Sanders right now, and I also think even if Marianne Williamson is running, but even as Marianne Williamson runs, I think Bernie Sanders will continue to be viewed as the person who is the de facto leader of the progressive faction, at the very least, the most looked to person. Now, that said, let me be clear. I'm delighted that Marianne Williamson is running. Yes. I think long term she's going to make progressives look kind of bad, but overall she is going to make Democrats in general look really good. Why is that? Because she's going to be debating Joe Biden and treated with respect by Joe Biden, and she's going to be respectful to Joe Biden when they're debating. And, even if the Democratic Party says, oh, we don't see a need to hold debates or whatever, the way they interact with each other is going to be a great thing for Americans to see. Because on the contrast, you've got Trump and DeSantis and that whole Nikki Haley, that nightmare crew. They're going to look like clowns because they are clowns. So good. Marianne Williamson would have very few scenarios where I'm actually voting for her. I have no notes for her in 2023. She's done great. I'm glad she's running against Biden. I'm glad there is some competition there, and I'm really glad that we're going to have an opportunity to show the United States what a group of. I've been very insulting, and I'm trying not to be as much. All right, one more. Mature-ass adults does when they need to handle business. Speaking of, Kevin McCarthy's embarrassment tour is just continuing. Let's record this puppy. So Kevin McCarthy has had tenuous at best control of the House. He's finally pushed through after negotiating with Nancy Mason Company. He's pushed through a debt limit bill that I think it would be hard to frame as being very serious, but let's listen to his announcement, at least the beginning of his announcement about what passed today. Oh boy, we're going to fix that.
The House Republicans just passed the only bill in Washington that lifts the debt limit.
Let's take another whack at that. Maybe full screen it. There we go. Let's try it again. Oofa doofa. This is going to be a rough one, folks. There we go.
The House Republicans just passed the only bill in Washington that lifts the debt limit, ends wasteful Washington spending, and puts America back on the right economic path. That we're going to limit the growth in the future. We're going to save by pulling back this unspent COVID money. We're going to grow this economy by making us energy independent again and getting more people, encouraging them back to work. The sad part here is now the Democrats need to do their job. The president can no longer ignore by not negotiating. Senator Schumer...
Wait a minute. Let me just tell you what this is the equivalent of. Imagine, if you will, that a student, like let's say a high school student, didn't do their assignment. In fact, they're weeks late for handing in their assignment. They say they're not even going to do it at all, and then they find out they literally can't pass the class. They can't leave high school without turning in the assignment. So they beg the administration to let them do the assignment. And the teacher says, all right, fine. Do the assignment. Get it to me when you can get it to me. Then he hands in the assignment. Young McCarthy does. And he walks outside of the classroom and he tells the assembled student body, I've handed in my assignment, and now I want to see what the administration here at this school does with it. Will they have the courage to give it a passing grade? Because they haven't graded any of my assignments that I haven't turned in. They haven't done any of their job. That's what you're hearing from this clown. To the audacity to talk about what Democrats have done. Let's let him just really go into it. Let's let him go off this clown.
He's got a plan. Put it on the floor. See if you can pass it, and then we can go to conference. But now the president can no longer put this economy in jeopardy. We lifted the debt limit.
The projection is wild.
Sent it to the Senate. We've done our job. The only body in here that's done theirs. The Senate, I got to give them credit. They did name March Maple Syrup Month, and they have thanked UConn and congratulated them for their basketball win. But they've done nothing when it comes to the economy or the debt limit.
Speaker McCarthy,
yes.
When it does go to the Senate ultimately, and they inevitably make changes, this was already a very tight vote for your conference. How are you going to keep everyone on board when it seems like even minor tweaks could mean someone falls off?
That's so interesting because all your questions before is how could I ever pass the bill? All your questions before says we never could. We're the only body that passed anything. Why do you assume the Senate can pass anything? Because I haven't seen them do anything. So right now, this is the only place that has lifted the debt limit. So the Democrats are putting the country in jeopardy. The president, by ignoring to even negotiate. The majority of Americans overwhelmingly want us to sit down and negotiate, to make sure we end our dependency on China.
All right, I'm not going to let McCarthy just ramble on. He's not saying anything of value. I do just want to say, I think there's a non-zero chance that McConnell, as the fella in control of Republicans in the Senate, McConnell might just power through, like might make concessions to Democrats that he wasn't going to make before, just to make McCarthy look dumb, because he does not like McCarthy, and with good reason. McCarthy is a needless headache, while McConnell is just trying to steal from Americans like a regular politician. He's just trying to do, normal theft, as opposed to McCarthy's destructive theft. McConnell's trying to slowly bleed Americans. Well, McCarthy really doesn't even have an understanding of what he's doing. Let's have a look at Senator Sheldon Whitehouse's response. And by the way, thank you, Franny P, for the clip. This is just exactly what I was hoping to find. You did the work for me. I appreciate it.
The MAGA wish list that Speaker McCarthy released last week is DOA. His default on America plan is dead on arrival. It is so damaging and so unpopular to the American people that MAGA Republicans are using secret backroom deals and default threats to jam through cuts that would never pass in public. But when it comes to protecting their wealthy fossil fuel donors, they spare no expense. Not only would this cost 780,000 jobs, it would also shrink the economy by $146 billion next year, with cuts up to 33% for border security, law enforcement, job training, affordable energy, opioid treatment, housing, food programs, and health insurance. For big donors, McCarthy's proposal would also slash IRS enforcement capacity to go after wealthy tax cheats, a move that would add nearly $120 billion to the deficit. The U.S. Constitution lays out transparent tools to raise revenue and determine government spending. It happens through bicameral legislating, through the budget and appropriations processes, not through hostage-taking and blackmail on behalf of fossil fuel mega donors.
Boom.
This default on America plan shows how captured the Republican Party is by the fossil fuel industry.
It's just real quick. Chuck Schumer not really, not exactly raising the roof there. It's sort of, well, now let's not go too crazy.
Almost 280 pages of this 320-page bill are devoted to fossil fuel giveaways, rescinding the clean energy tax credits on which they are campaigning in their home districts, the projects that they support.
Really understand that, because this is a common Republican phenomenon. Remember that and this is not new to MAGA. This is how Republicans operate. The playbook is run the government as badly as you can, and then run on saying you will defund the government, which does not work for the people. Well, when that's your playbook, you tend not to bring home much of use for your community, don't you? It's very profitable to run the government badly because you get to privatize things and your buddies give you kickbacks in all kinds of forms. So, what do Republicans end up doing when they need to tell their constituents, I'm out there working for you? Well, they take credit for what they fought the Democrats to not pass, what they tried to prevent Democrats from passing. Republicans take credit for it. They say, well, I was in office, you got blank, and you got blank. X, Y, and Z. Not mentioning the fact that they voted against X, Y, and Z. Hey, Republicans at home, everything you like about the government was provided to you by liberals. You like Social Security? Lefties. Do you like, the military not being a privatized organization? Believe it or not, lefties. Do you like, I don't know, you're a black conservative? Do you like not being enslaved? Lefties, man. Literally everything decent. I'm not even saying the left is always right. They're not. But they're honestly trying to make the government work. Everything, literally everything decent about the government, at least that I can think of, was brought about either by a left-winger themselves or a right-winger caving to pressure from the left. Just so you know. All right, let's let this man's on a roll. Let's let him bring it home.
Going back to leaking wasteful methane emissions without penalty.
Wait a minute. I forgot the other thing I wanted to say. Republicans took out tax breaks for businesses in this. The green energy that he was talking about. That wasn't going to cut into fossil fuels. That was going to help establish additional energy. Republicans are voting against energy independence for the United States. They say you must. Yeah, that look on this guy's face, that's how I feel. Republicans are saying you must be reliant on early 1900s technology, or you're what, a goofy hippie? I actually am a goofy hippie, and I'll tell you, you don't need to be reliant on 1900s technology, or rather, you don't have to be trying to get away from 1900s technology to be one. That's just advancing technologically. They're not just against social progress, Republicans. They're against technological progress. They want us to fight the next war with last century's technology. Well, frickin' China's, tooling around in laser tanks or whatever they managed to invent because they're not putting up with this nonsense. Republicans, quit making us weak.
A permitting reform described especially for the fossil fuel industry, designed especially for the fossil fuel industry. And of course, obstacles to the agencies that protect clean air and clean water from fossil fuel polluters. They're proposing to roll back progress on the climate crisis, putting their fossil fuel overlords over hundreds of thousands of clean energy workers, including those in their very districts. The message is stark: polluters first, people second. This isn't about debt and deficits. It's not about limiting, saving, and growing. It's not about defunding woke government. It's about the big fossil fuel donors that keep them in power.
Yes.
In this case, the woke screen truly is a smoke screen, and the smoke is from all the extra oil and gas the fossil fuel industry would have us burn. DOA is dirty, and DOA is dead.
I believe it was the words of a middle-aged church aunt that I'm quoting when I say, mm, mm, mm. What on earth, Republicans? You did all that. You made such a big damn deal about all this for what? To have a weaker United States. Tax breaks for people with yachts and mansions. That's what all this was for. And if you're wondering what's going to happen, I don't know. It's pretty standard for the party in control of one chamber to come out and say, ha, we did it perfect. And then the party in control of the other to come out and say, they did it terrible. We hate it. Then they negotiate and you come somewhere in between. Look, the teeth have already been taken out of McCarthy's bill with that practice of just pushing down his promises to the next generation of Republicans, wherever they may be, even if it's him. It's going to get negotiated, and I believe it'll be fine. But you see where their priorities are. And they're the same as they've always been. Man, they're just the same. We have MAGA making them more crude, I guess. We have MAGA being more obnoxious and demanding more attention. And therefore, to their detriment, to Mitch McConnell's chagrin, getting more attention on stuff like this. But the goals are the same. Bleed out your wallet. I don't have much to bleed out in mine, but what I have, yeah, they're going to try to take. And they're going to give it to their rich friends. That's the Republican Party. That's a big chunk of the Democratic Party, too. But that's the entirety of the Republican Party. MAGA, GOP, doesn't matter. That's who they are. That's the scam. It's a criminal organization. It's a fraudulent organization. They lie to you about what they're doing. They lie about why they're doing it. Fox News exists because of this. It exists and is funded to sell the American people these lies. And we keep falling for it. When we have Americans that have the courage, in fact, right-wingers around the world, when right-wingers around the world develop the courage to confront these lies, we will enter in to an age of progress. I mean technological, scientific, industrial, on all fronts. We're going to enter into an age of progress that will truly be something the universe has never seen before. The technology at our fingertips now is enough to make a utopia. Or something damn close to it. The ability's here, but the ignorance has to go. Vote blue if you're in the United States in 2024. If you're in a different country and you're looking at this, point to it, because this will be an other. Us in the United States will be the other. Let us be that. Make fun of us for the clown show that we are these days, and don't let your right-wingers be as gullible as ours. Tease us for the greater good. And hopefully so that we feel the embarrassment we should feel in this country, and we get motivated to do decently. Link in the description. Vote in those primaries. Go as far left as you can, and then, even if you gotta suck it up, even if you don't like it, you vote blue no matter who in the general. Because the alternative is fascism. Oh, and more rich guys smugly spending our money. Let's see what the Wicked community has to say. Dawned on me, even if a third party was created, unless gerrymandering is overtaken by Democrats, this House is going to go on and on. I don't necessarily think so. I do think we have to get rid of gerrymandering. I think it's downright un-American thing. It's a downright undemocratic thing. But we're talking about a couple of points when these districts are divided up, more or less, a couple of percentage points. I think we can sway enough people that we are going to just steamroll in 2024. I don't think we're guaranteed to steamroll. I think I would put it as more likely than not that we are going to get victories in the House, the Senate, and the presidency. But, I mean, what we really require is that steamrolling. But I think it's possible. Even with the gerrymandering, if you took the maps as they are right now, even then, yes, I think it's possible. Because, boy, we were close last time around. We were real close. Next time, when you have the added motivation of a presidential election and when you have the stark contrast between the candidates, when you have, even if Donald Trump doesn't end up running, the stink of him is still on that party. And if he does end up running, that's the guy that did January 6th. I just don't see there being many people on the fence about whether or not to vote for him. And certainly, I don't think any of the people that came out in 2020, who, by the way, take vaccines seriously and take COVID seriously, and more of us have survived because of it, I don't think any of those voters that came out in 2020 will have changed their opinion on Donald Trump. Nor do I believe they will have changed their opinion on the people that support him. Dawned on Me says, look what Florida and New York did with gerrymandering. Yeah, not good. And we can thank, by the way, Andrew Cuomo for New York. But then, contrary to that, look at what Wisconsin will do, or is set up to do, and look at what Michigan has done. There's progress being made. I wouldn't, but even without that progress being made, even without changes, I think I think the fact that MAGA is so interesting, love them or hate them, they are interesting. It's like a serial killer. It is fascinating to find out about, and the fact that they are means that attention is not going to go away from this stuff. At least not until after 2024, at a minimum. And at the end of the day, the film The Big Short, I think, put it really, really well, which is you cannot sustain a business model that relies on lying to people. And I think that's true in politics too. 74 million people voted for that slime in 2020. Agreed. 78, I think it was, maybe 76. A couple million more voted for Biden, and that was before January 20th. January 6th. I mean, it was also before January 20th. But that was before January 6th. Yeah, after he killed millions. Indeed. It's too close for comfort, I'll give you that. My word. Who's that? Oh, Dollemore. Folks, I have not watched this one yet. Truth be told. I wanted to just drink a little tea with you. I wanted to enjoy it with the live audience, because that's kind of fun. A little fun for me to do that. But I did see the this suggestion. Sorry, was given to me, I believe, by Franny P. Thank you very much. If not, do correct me. But it's Dollemore talking about how I'd never start the recording when I'm supposed to. Also, Tucker Carlson. Well, a fella by the name of Jesse Dollemore has a follow-up on Tucker Carlson and his firing. And I'll be honest with yous, I was kind of hoping that old Tuckums was gonna, these monsters would take chunks out of each other, and then we could pick over the scraps. But there's reason to believe that Tucker's gonna be polite, and that reason is embarrassing for Tucker Carlson. So I'm all about it. Let's hear what Jesse Dollemore had to say.
This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Pretty big report coming out of an exclusive from Rolling Stone.
Yeah, but not before I go. Look, there's something that fellas with orange hair can pull off that I will always be jealous of, and that is a heavy pattern on a suit jacket. Christ, that looks sharp. I put that on, I'm going to look like a car salesman. He looks like a professor. I love it. All right.
Talking about the firing of Tucker Carlson. And this is information that we've known for a long time, that when parties leave under less than the best of circumstances from Fox News, there have been stories here and there from particular people that they're afraid to talk because of the dossier that's been created on them and the fear that Fox News will hold. It's like a blackmail situation, like a hostage situation. If you do this, we will do this negative, and we will out all these secrets that we know about you. It's very J. Edgar Hoover-ish in that way. Rolling Stone has it on good authority from sources that this is what's happening to Tucker Carlson right now, that they don't want him to speak about all the things that have gone on inside the network in a retaliatory type of way. And if he does go to speak, they have a dossier on him. As the headline from the Rolling Stone, Fox has a secret Oppo file to keep Tucker Carlson in check, sources say. 8 sources tell Rolling Stone that the network's top brass has been stockpiling information on the departing primetime host. Fox News executives have in their possession a dossier of alleged dirt on Tucker Carlson should he attack the network in the wake of his departure. 8 sources at and close to the network tell Rolling Stone. So,
wait a minute. 8 sources? 8? Jesus God. I was looking for, I was going to try to do that, play devil's advocate. I enjoy being like, well, now do we know this is true? And who says? And maybe they have 8 sources. I can't do it. Sorry, MAGA, your old pal Jake was going to try. Can't do it. 8 sources is a hell of a lot of sources. That fella sounds like he's got some dirt.
But sounds like it wasn't real amicable. It wasn't, we just parted ways. When Fox announced Carlson's departure on Monday, the network presented the separation as amicable. But according to one former on-air Fox personality, the anchor and some of the channel's top executives are parting ways on the worst and messiest possible terms. Indeed, in private communications released last month, as part of the Dominion Fox lawsuit, the now fired host gossiped that one such exec hates us, claiming she was covertly working against him and other hosts. But if Carlson attempts to torch the network, he's leaving. Fox is prepared, sources say. 8 people. This isn't one random anonymous source with an axe to grind. This is nearly a dozen people with information directly related to this. 8 people familiar with the situation tell Rolling Stone that Fox News and its communications department, long led by the notorious...
I'm glad I'm not, they're just saying real quick, I'm glad I'm not the only one that was staggered by the amount of sources on this. Good Lord.
Aggressive Irina Briganti has assembled damaging information about Carlson. One source with knowledge calls it an Oppo file, opposition research, Oppo file. 2 sources add that Fox is prepared to disclose some of its contents if execs suspect that Carlson is coming after the network. The file includes internal complaints regarding workplace conduct, disparaging comments about management and colleagues, and allegations that the now former primetime host created a toxic work environment, 3 of the sources say. Carlson is currently facing, as I've spoken about, I don't have to read that particular thing. He is facing a lawsuit for creating a toxic, dangerous, misogynistic, sexist work environment.
Yeah, my question is, what is damaging to Tucker Carlson? The guy is a white supremacist. The guy on national television said, "What's so bad about white supremacy?" Oh, I'm just asking. Oh. How do you damage that guy's reputation? I guess by saying he's a liability in business. Oh, look, he's saying negative things within the office. Oh, look, he behaves X and Y. Hey, Daily Wire or whatever nightmare service tries to hire him. You should know, etc., etc. That I could see. Let's let the man finish.
And this is what I believe that his firing is about. I don't believe it's about disrespect to upper management, because Rupert Murdoch himself is known to have said during discovery and during depositions for the Dominion lawsuit that this isn't about red or blue. This is about green. They don't care if he disrespects the management. They don't care if he likes his job. All they care about is making money, and he was indeed a cash cow for them, not necessarily from advertising, but for the cable dollars that you spend with your cable company that go to Fox News. That's where they make their money, not necessarily on advertising, especially related to Tucker's show. A network spokesperson denied the existence of the file on Carlson. "This is patently absurd and categorically false," the spokesperson said in a statement to Rolling Stone. "We thank Tucker for his service to the network as a host, and prior to that as a contributor. Many sources within the network disagree. Irina will never be shy about using these things," says one network source who is familiar with the Carlson-related complaints. And then finally here, over the years, Briganti and Fox News PR tactics have been turned against its own prominent talent. For instance, the Daily Beast reported in 2018 that emails reviewed and verified by the outlet.
That's interesting. I want to hear that in a moment. But first, I want to give a little praise. The anti-corporatist, where are you? Where did I see that? It got a chuckle out of me, damn it. All right, first, Leon Chevalier, The Big Short is a great movie, by the way, Jake. Explains the 2008 crash perfectly. Margin Call is also good. I have seen both multiple times. They are both one of, I think, a dozen movies that I bought off YouTube so I can watch whatever, wherever. It is so good. I love The Big Short. The script is incredibly awkward, but the directing, but it's informative, and the directing is fantastic, as is the acting. Everybody, if you haven't seen The Big Short, it's fantastic. Where's the fella saying they want to see blood? They want to see him go at each other. Mars Falcon. I want to see scorched earth from both sides. Let something slip so Fox unleashes on you, Tucker. Please. Yes. That got a chuckle out of me behind the scenes there. That's fantastic. Dawned on me says, exactly, Jake. All anyone had to do was listen to Tucker's show for 3 minutes. Yeah, how on earth do you blackmail Tucker Carlson? And by the way, Wireless Mike, good to see you, brother. Oh, mercy me. All right, let's find out what this newest piece of goss is.
Show that Fox's communications brass have planted negative stories about some of their own top stars, including hosts like Bill O'Reilly and Stuart Varney, the latter of whom is still employed by Fox. Those methods for keeping personnel in line are an open secret among current and former Fox News staff. 4 former Fox News personalities confirmed Briganti likes to keep dirt files on Fox News talent, including one on Tucker Carlson. Not a secret. We've known about this for years and years and years, but now it's rearing its ugly head once again because Tucker Carlson was unceremoniously fired, sent out on his ass to look for a job. Now,
real quick in the comments, just see if you can. I'm going to read these off at the after Dollemore wraps it here. Just see if you can give me your best Tucker Carlson insult. Mine is he is the personification of an ascot. Let me try another one. He is such a racist preppy that I am positive there is a ironed crease in his clan hood. I'll see your comments on the other side. Let's let Dollemore finish.
Now, there's a lot of talk about what he's going to do, whether he's going to enter politics, maybe throw his hat in the ring to be Donald Trump's VP. Who knows? It's also out there that he could go work for RT, go do whatever else, but, he's maybe still under contract. So they could just pay him, keep paying him, and keep him off the air, and he wouldn't be able to go somewhere unless he decides the $20 million or whatever he's owed, he's going to forego that and then go work somewhere else. There's very likely a non-compete clause in there somewhere, especially if they're still paying him. Anyway, it is the battle of the assholes here with Fox News and Tucker Carlson. You love to see it. You love to watch the carnage. I'm not at all sad. You're not going to see a tear shed from this guy at all. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call. Leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me.
Is that what I should have been doing? The voicemail as a way to transition? No, I'm going to use Restream. I got to figure it out. Dang it. Google exists. I got the time. I should do that. All right. I'm going to read some comments from y'all in a moment. But I just want to wrap this up. The VOD. Look, he will be replaced. The next monster will show up. The other night, Rachel Maddow was talking about Father Coughlin again. To my eternal shame, that's a Detroiter. Rush Limbaugh, Bill O'Reilly, Glenn Beck. I mean, we keep seeing the same figure pop up again and again and again. Someone who's willing to tell the most destructive lies in exchange for money. Long term, we are going to have to make it against the law to do this, to lie for money, to knowingly lie for money. I realize you can be sued, but I mean we need criminal penalties for this. And I realize as well, the slippery slope. Don't slip. Because we have now seen, we ran this experiment to have media totally unregulated, no regulations at all, has allowed us to make it look as though, I say us, has allowed con people, con men and women, to make it look as though a con is legitimate, because where are the cops? I don't see them. We must be telling the truth. Or maybe truth doesn't matter. Maybe everybody's lying. We can't have that. When you have a situation that got as bad as Dominion got, money that was made while telling those lies cannot be enough to remedy the situation. Prison time needs to be involved. It's fine to have a difference of opinion. It's not fine to knowingly lie. Set the bar high, for sure. But the bar needs to exist. Think it over. But regardless, enjoy the fact that Tucker Carlson is a hell of a lot less comfortable this week than he was last. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a W for the good guys. I hope you guys got some good insults. I want us to read some pettiness. Carlson, Carlson looks like he fits perfectly inside a high school gym locker from Wireless Mike 73. Yes, he does. Armor Equals says, I'm fine with people lying for money. I think we need a law that says if you call yourself news, it has to be just the facts. No opinion, no speculation. Agreed. I think it was either Wireless Mike or the anti-corporatists that just came out and said we should have a show where we discuss stuff like this more actively. That is what I'm working towards building, because I think that's got to be on it. You're right. We should have, just like we shouldn't require everybody to be a mature, well-reasoned adult. We shouldn't require everybody who's in the media to be honest. We need to have space for a certain degree of scampery. But at the same time, I also think you're right. We can't let people think that's news, because it ain't. Our More Equal says comedians need to be allowed to lie. Yeah, absolutely. Mars Falcon, I know it. Oh, let's look at the context here. Ooh. All right. I'm gonna get lost in this. Oh, but Leon Chevalier had a good one. Perennial rich boy victim whose only gift in this world is guilt and to scare poor people. Yeah. Leon Chevalier, I happen to know from what you've said on the channel before that you are not from the United States. I believe you're not from an English-speaking country. And I guess my question to you is, why do you need to make me feel bad? Your command of the English language is better than mine. And I speak just English and bad English. That's impressive, man. Mars Falcon, he got censored. Another LGBTQ plus member did. Ooh, who is that? You know what? I'm going to read these in the restream. Because right now, I'm going to go upload this puppy. I want to get those views. I want to get them up there. Thank you all for joining me today. Hey, look, I'm trying to pay that rent. If you enjoy the content, consider doing a super chat every once in a while if you got a couple extra bucks to toss my way. If not, no worries. Please like and subscribe. That will help me immensely. And hey, let's be tactical here. If you really want to help me, find another lefty stream and mention at WYCD in it. Mention what you can do. Try to get this channel out there. We're doing everything we can to extend, to gather an audience. And if we can get a big enough audience, we can start doing some pretty fun things that maybe make headlines overnight. I am really looking forward to that. Help me grow this channel to the point that we can do that. Thank you very much for joining me today. This has, Wicked Foxy Dragon. Every place I go, I'm getting Wicked out there, LOL. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining me. This has been WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. My name's Jake.